My name is George Garcia. I am a Microsoft Cloud consultant with over 20 years of experience in diverse environments. I've assisted organizations in different sectors, including commercial, state and local government, and the defense industrial base, as well as the Department of Defense. This has also included small and medium businesses, SMC, and enterprise size environments. My experience within the Microsoft technology stack includes collaboration and productivity, governance and compliance, advanced security, as well as business process automation and business intelligence. So that typically includes anything from Microsoft Exchange to SharePoint to Teams. In governance and compliance, it includes information protection, data loss prevention, Purview. In advanced security, it includes Microsoft Defender, Defender for Cloud, Sentinel. In Power Platform, it includes tools like Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Copilot. As a Microsoft architect in particular, I've assisted in environments that are very large and complex, global environments like the US Navy and US Air Force, complex environments like the Department of Veterans Affairs, and I also have experience working with both the Microsoft Security Partner of the Year as well as the Microsoft Governance and Compliance Partner of the Year, as well as internally working for Microsoft within the Microsoft Federal Services team. I also hold a federal public trust as well as a DoD secret clearance. So a lot of great training, a lot of great experience that I bring to all of my clients, all of the projects. But there is a very common theme that I bring to all engagement, no matter the size or type of organization. I help my clients in several very different, important, different ways, namely the adoption of best practices in IT. So the first way that I help organizations is through helping them leverage new capabilities in the areas of Microsoft AI, automation, help them implement best practices in the areas of IT management and IT security. I help them utilize best practice frameworks like the Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework, the Microsoft Zero Trust Reference Architecture, as well as the Microsoft Well Architected Framework. And these are frameworks and best practices that help an organization to effectively modernize. And this modernization is very much important in today's highly competitive marketplace in order to protect their intellectual property, to enhance their competitive advantage, and also to protect regulated information that may be inside of their possession. Another very important way that I help organizations is through the reduction in their total cost of IT ownership. For the last several years, there's been a massive proliferation in cloud services, software products out there, and it has really led to organizations implementing redundant and many times very ineffective services. So not only is this a big cost concern, but it's a very big security concern, and it leads to a lot of organizational risk ultimately. It's important to point out that the Microsoft license stack, whether that's the business premium or the enterprise license, it has a lot of these capabilities and features that are highly ingrained. So they really allow you to be able to reduce your footprint, and not only to reduce your footprint, but to be able to create a holistic, integrated, and secure solution. So you're not getting bits and pieces of point solutions cobbled together, hoping that they work well together. You get a total strategic solution that reduces your overall attack surface. Another very important way that I help organizations is through the maintenance of their tenant slash organizational boundary. So different roles call this different things depending on what they're trying to describe. They might call it their tenant boundary, their security boundary, their compliance boundary, pretty much refers to the same thing. Refers to the fact that organizations really need to have a firm control over who and what is coming in and out of their IT digital estate. But unfortunately, what's happened is that a lot of service providers out there, a lot of even maybe even individuals that are providing service, don't really help you maintain that level of control. They may either architect a solution or provide a service that's moving data or telemetry outside of your boundary. they're putting these things in place to provide you a service, but they're using very insecure and risky methods of connecting into your organization. And they also use insecure methods of providing remote support and remote access. So it's an important thing to understand that whatever capabilities you implement for your organization, that those capabilities remain in place even when a provider is no longer providing you that service anymore. It's important to make sure that your intellectual property, your competitive advantage doesn't simply just walk out the front door when you choose to have a new provider. So when I help organizations, not only do I build solutions whenever possible inside of your tenant and organizational boundary, I make sure that they remain in place and operational even when I leave a project or an engagement. And not only does it include setting those solutions up to work even when the contract or project is done, it also means that you're utilizing best practices in the areas of remote access, best practices in the areas of remote support connectivity. I use and I highly recommend using Microsoft Secure Connectivity, and I also use granular delegated access, or what is referred to as Microsoft GDAP. Another very important way that I help organizations is through their ability to fight against advanced security threats. So typically, when an organization reaches the highest levels of operational security maturity, then they're able to fight against advanced security threats, or what's typically known in the IT industry as advanced persistent threats. And these are very pervasive threats that are both highly ingrained and difficult to find and eradicate inside of environments, both large and small. I've seen these advanced persistent threats and I've helped eradicate them in the largest environments, the smallest ones, and everything in between. So it's important that you have the right people, the right processes, the right technologies, both fully architected and fully deployed in order to be able to deal with these threats. For example, a lot of security providers out there, they provide security services to organizations. They may have some type of a managed detection and response capability, or what's typically referred to as MDR. But I like to point out that they have an MD little r because their responsive ability is highly limited. With the Microsoft security stack in place, you get very powerful tools in the areas of Microsoft XDR, extended detection and response, that brings correlation, enrichment, responsive actions to your organization. And these are very powerful tools that allow you to shrink a bad actor's window of opportunity and ultimately reduce an organization's business risk. XD Big R also allows you to utilize a vast array of highly integrated and responsive tools, anything from password resets, account lockouts, endpoint quarantine, process investigation, forensic artifact collection, malware analysis, antivirus scans, automated response procedures, and the list goes on and on. Powerful and responsive actions within minutes instead of hours from a unified portal. Again, making sure that an attacker's kill chain window of opportunity gets reduced to as low as possible. Your mean time to response, your mean time to resolution is dramatically reduced. So hopefully a lot of these things that I can bring to your organization have resonated with you. Thank you very much for taking the time to learn about me, what I'm about, and what I can, most importantly, what I can bring to your organization. Feel free to reach out to me, and I would be more than happy to start on our journey together and happy to be of service. Thank you very much.